yesterday. There we go. You just done it. Oh.
Yeah, no, I just pressed start broadcast to see if I did that. Post this link on Facebook to share with your friends so they can watch and join this live streaming event.
If we stop the broadcast now, then it's fucked.
Oh, is it?
I think.
Whoops.
I can make another one up. It's all right.
Cannot edit these settings during the broadcast. Hey.
Post this link to Facebook to share with your friends so they can watch it. Yeah. So that is right. So you should. No, you've done it. I think you've done it.
So if I do that now, open
if
link.
I go to Football Gurus on Facebook.
Open link in YouTube.
Martin's not very happy with. Don't worry. I think we can edit this. I think we can.
Yeah.
Edit
that's
this.
That's on Facebook Live. I can see us on Facebook Live.
Are we?
Yeah.
Holy shit! We better act professional.
You should know it's working now.
We're live. Fucking blinking heck. Wait, let's talk about football and stuff.
Yeah, okay, so welcome to the Gridiron Weekly, where we definitely don't talk about Liverpool until we get the Aston Villa fans in, then we can talk about Liverpool.
Oh, this is so cool. Hold on now.
Yeah.
We are live.
I mean, all I did was press start broadcast, but I did put things in my simulcast settings that I'll show you maybe after the show.
Yeah, well done, mate. Cool.
Yeah. So apologies for anyone that's listening.
I'll rally the troops, mate. I'll rally the troops to make it look like we're not talking to each other.
Yeah, fair enough. So apologies to anyone that's listening on the podcast. I'll see if I can edit it down, actually, Mark.
Yeah. I'll try and edit it on YouTube as well, see if I can drag it forward.
Start it a little bit later or whatever. So let's hope that works. I'm surprised Luke's not on yet. I was expecting to see Luke. Your mate Luke from Canada.
Oh, that's so funny. Hey, that was so funny.
Are you joining us, Luke? Oh, Brian are playing really well, aren't they?
Yeah, mate. Ralph is joining us tonight as well.
Oh, good.
This is so cool. This is our first time being live on
the Facebook. Just check. Yeah, it's still there. There's a slight delay. It's quite funny.
Oh, mate, this is groundbreaking for the Football Gurus. 15 episodes in, and we've finally learned how. And all it took was Ali to press record instead of me. I'm fucking proud of yourself, Ali.
I've got me uses, haven't I?
So what talking points have you got tonight, Ali? I think I'm just going to pick games and talk about team. We've got Villa fans joining us tonight.
Yeah, so I've got a few ones for the Villa guys. I won't tell you now because we're recording. And then I've got some other topics, 3 or 4, just in case. So one on VAR, one on if the Euros was tomorrow, who would you start up front for England? Because we're all talking about how many good defenders and midfielders we've got, but a bit short on strikers at the moment. And then
Danny Ings. What he honestly just
beyond Ings, who hasn't scored many international goals yet, it starts to dry up a bit.
Danny Ings, Harry Kane. I would still play Rashford down the middle, definitely for England. DJ,
we've got a DJ in the house.
Get up the Villa.
Oh, mate, how's it going?
Oh, he's a proper Villa fan.
Oh, yeah.
He even sounds like one.
Dave, have you still got your Villa shirt on from yesterday?
Yeah, went down all week actually.
Oh, don't blame you. Don't blame you. Good 3 points yesterday.
I don't know if you've listened to any of our episodes so far, DJ, but we actually always praise Villa up. It's been a joy to watch this year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's been a joy for me as well. I can tell you after 10 years worth of diabolicalness.
So we try and do sometime. Hopefully, tonight it will be like a Villa episode. We've had a Liverpool episode, a West Ham episode, Spurs episode, Southampton episode. So tonight can be Villa. So anything you want to talk about, any aspects of the club you think like how's John Terry impacted your defence? Obviously, he's had a massive effect on your defence, hasn't he? John Terry it's there. It's clear, isn't it? Obviously, Grealish. I think he should stay at Aston Villa there's no need for him to leave Aston Villa to further his career. I don't think personally. Ali said to me, would I take him at Liverpool? And I was like, I would, but I want him to stay at Villa, where he's the main man. Do you see what I mean? So, anything else you want to talk about of Aston Villa? Anything you don't think gets enough credit? Players you like, players you don't.
And we've got some questions for you as well as a Villa fan. Not difficult questions, not putting you on the spot questions.
No, it's fine. I mean, my mate Dave Wicks will be here in a minute.
I think he just walked in then. I think someone just popped in there.
Yeah, I mean, me and Dave sort of like Dave runs the Cornwall Aston Villa Sports Club down here, which we'll go through in a minute in Cornwall. So we've had that going since November, really, because of the lockdown and things like that. We were pretty much cut off. But we'll go into that a bit more.
Yeah, cool. Dan, Liverpool fans coming on. We got a Liverpool fan, 2 Villa fans, and Ralph's a United fan, and whoever else wants to join us as well. We're live on Facebook. We got more guests than we've ever had. Last week, DJ, we had some random Americans join us. So we went worldwide last week. Just walked into the chat and just started talking about Trump. So
and there was Luke, the Canadian, who said, "Do you want to talk about football?" And
he looked at us and we just spoke rocket science.
Yeah.
Soccer? What's that?
Nice bloke, though. Nice bloke.
Lovely chat.
We're actually on Facebook as well. I mean, I'm really new to this. I mean,
we are like it's a cracking little app. Not many people in this country actually know about this app. It's just like Zoom for podcasts. There's a 2-hour limit for the podcast itself, which Ali just started 15 minutes early, which is great. But it's 2-hour limit. It's very laid back, and there's 4 sports. I mean, I'll step out tonight because there's so many of us. I don't mind going in the chat for a bit. And it's just a nice app. It's a really nice little app. It's very simple to download the episode and share it.
This is the first time we're doing it simultaneously on Facebook Live, isn't it? Well, we normally do this on Get Vocal and then record it for YouTube and Podbean and put those out afterwards. But we're on Facebook Live now as well. So
this is groundbreaking. What Ali's trying to say is this is groundbreaking, DJ.
It is groundbreaking.
This is state of the art.
I'm going to get a link to that Facebook page.
It's called Football Gurus.
Football Gurus.
Because we're all gurus here, let's be honest.
Fair play.
I just thought you were drunk when you made the name of it.
My mate Wayne Fruin has said one question, Ginsters or Greggs? Wayne Fruin is now barred from this podcast.
Definitely.
He's never allowed on this podcast. He is blacklisted. I'll block him on the Facebook page as well. But no, he's a top man, is Wayne, but not for that.
But I've got to say, I mean, because you don't have Greggs in Cornwall, do you? But Greggs are all right. Ginsters, I mean, we all know.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Don't encourage Wayne.
I like Greggs. It's like a swear word.
No, don't encourage him, man. Sausage rolls are not pasties. They're not square.
What are you on about? Greggs?
Greggs pasties are square.
I wouldn't. I'd never eat a pasties in Greggs, but it's not about that. It's about the sausage, beans, and cheese slice. That is godsend.
Yeah, this is a great football podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Everyone, we got 5 people watching on Facebook now going, thought this was a fucking football podcast.
And we're like, McDonald's or Burger King.
Personally, I blame Wayne Fruin for that. I blame Wayne, and I will be letting him know such. Look out!
All the hot topics of the week.
Do you know what?
Ralph's bought the technology this week.
Yeah, some headphones so I can listen.
This time next week, he's going to have a big microphone like this. Hi, guys. He's gone from
Welcome to the Ralph Pascal podcast.
Yeah, exactly. He's gone from a paper and pen to headphones in 2 weeks. This is an evolution of man.
The kids haven't eaten all week, so I thought, let's get some headphones.
Yeah. Very good, mate. They look like two cupcake tins with a piece of wire around them. But anyway.
Oh, hang on a minute. Who put 50p in Mark? Because fucking Liverpool won.
What? That's got nothing to do with it.
All right, so we've got 4 on now. DJ Ralph, what we do, because I started the podcast a bit early by accident. see if it's going to work on Facebook Live, and it does. So we're
It does
on
work.
Facebook Live, but we'll try and trim it down for the podcast of YouTube afterwards and kind of start in a minute. So I'm going to run the intro.
Yeah,
I'm on my mobile.
This is the best start to a podcast.
Yeah, crack on, man. Yeah. See you on there, sec. Right, Dave, we should come on now.
We have 5 watching on Facebook.
Excellent.
We have 6 people watching on Facebook right now.
Should we kick off then, Mark? Shall we kick off?
Yes, please, before we lose all 6 viewers.
Okay. Alex, I haven't seen you doing it in here yet.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Football Weekly with your host Mark and Ali. We've got a range of guests on tonight. Welcome DJ, welcome back Ralph. We've got Dave Wicks coming on. I heard whispers of a James Villa fan. Is that right?
Yeah, we got loads coming tonight. We got 5 or 6 people coming on tonight.
Excellent. So another good week for Villa. Liverpool bounce back. Lots to talk about this week. So let's dive straight in there. How much is Jack Grealish worth?
Priceless, basically. He's not going to go anywhere. I mean, there's rumours every week saying he's going to go to Man United. But I don't think he will. As long as we keep improving and don't sort of slip back, which I don't think we will now. I think we're back on the trail now, playing with the big boys again, where we should be. Providing we can then break into Europe, maybe. He won't be going anywhere. If there was a dramatic drop in performance and we ended up again in the old relegation battles and all that sort of thing, then yes, there may be a point that you'll say, enough's enough. But I think he's there for, foreseeable.
Do you know what? He gets better. I think he's actually growing into the season. He's actually getting better as the season goes on. He's realising he's the leader of that team. He's like cliches like the Gerrard of Villa. Would you agree with that, DJ? He's dragging you through games.
Yeah. I mean, he'll eventually become a Villa god. Eventually, that's how it will be. I mean, it took him a few years. I mean, it took a few years to get to where he is now, but he's something special. He really is.
He's the Grealish is the teams know what he's going to do off the right, off the left onto his right foot, but he is so intelligent at what he does. He's very, very difficult to pick up.
Yeah, and he's very good at getting fouled as well. In the right place.
Ali, is your favourite subject, isn't it? Grealish getting fouled.
Not so much at the moment. I think he's a bit naughty a bit earlier in the season, and And I'll always call it out when I say it, always. But he seems to have calmed down a bit of late. And actually, and all I was saying was, why he's so gifted? He just should stay on his feet. It's not about drawing fouls. It was about the one where he threw himself to the ground, after the contact. That's what I didn't like. The week before on the show, I was saying he was the most naturally gifted Englishman on the field at the moment, in the Premier League at the moment, and I stand by that, and I agree with you, Mark. He's growing into the game. But I think what's vital for Villa, because he's playing at such a high level, is that they get top 4 this season, or top 5 as a minimum. So he's got a step up to take next year. I mean, maybe the Euros will do that for him anyway. Certainly, if I was a Villa fan, I would have answered the question, "How much is he worth?" Because he's irreplaceable. Is the point, isn't it? For you, DJ, who'd you buy if Grealish goes?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think the owners. Luckily now we have very wealthy owners. So we're not.
Can't hear him, Ralph. Sorry, mate. I'm just going to mute you. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, it was. We were very much a selling club before. We'd have sold Grealish by now, but our owners obviously are showing signs that they have ambitions. So we're holding on to the players we need to hold on. We actually improve. We buy in players as well. We spent a lot of money. We've got a really good spine to the club now. To the team, the spine's there. You just got to build on that really now. But I think with we're almost there. Next season, I think we'll be really knocking on the door.
I think you've got a very persuasive recruitment department as well, because when I look at the last couple of transfer windows, so the last one and this one, and I think West Ham's top target, if I'm a West Ham fan, so West Ham's top target at the last transfer window was Ollie Watkins. And then the talk going into this transfer window was it was going to be Samson. And you just need to get these players. You get them before deadline day with the minimum of fuss. You don't pay exuberant money for them. You pay, what seems like a decent amount. Not too little, not too much. And they, within 6-8 weeks, they're blended into the way that you play football. There's no big delay. You just, they hit the ground, and what a squad you've got at the moment.
I know. It's the recruitment side of things has improved. I mean, the first season when we came up to the Premiership, the recruitment was just shocking.
Speak up a bit there, DJ. You're very softly spoken. Speak up a bit.
Sorry, mate. You hear me better now? Right. So, basically, the recruitment policy when we first came up into the Prem, we made some shocking ones there. We made a lot of bad mistakes, but we got rid of the guy responsible for that and brought somebody else in now, and the recruitment's been a lot better. The Ollie Watkins one, great. He's come on brilliantly. So, no complaints there. We just brought that Samsung.
I'm just going to give way to Dave a minute, see if Dave can get on. Let's just see if he can.
That's one way to shut Mark up. So while Mark's off, let's talk about the 7-2.
Hey.
Hello, Dave. Welcome. Good timing.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah. Good, thanks. So Dave and Dave. Is it DJ or is it Dave?
I call myself DJ because we get confused with each other.
Loves a beef for classics.
Yeah. Dave's actually runs the Cornwall Lions, which is Aston Villa Sports Club Cornwall official one, which has been going since November. And obviously, I'm the vice chairman with it and things like that. But we've got 65 paid members in Cornwall.
Wow.
I know. It's took off amazing. Basically born out of the lockdown and the things that we've had to go through this year.
Yeah.
Felt very, very cut off. So we decided to band together and get some kind of Mad Villa community down here.
That's brilliant. My old I used to live in Falmouth, and my old housemate was a Villa fan, and he was the only Villa fan I knew in Cornwall, actually. So it just goes to show that he wasn't the only one after all. Yeah. There's at least 55 of you.
Well, we started doing it, and it's sort of growing very quickly. I mean, we thought we're not even scratching the surface here. Yeah. So many that come down here to get away from Birmingham, basically. There's a lot down here, so we're just getting a bit organised now, aren't we, Dave?
Yes, mate. So your question about how much is Grealish worth? There's no money on it for us. You give us 100 million, he's not worth it. To Villa, he's worth a lot more than that.
What do you think the club rate at? What would be the breaking point? Because people spend silly money on players nowadays, don't they? There'd be a number, wouldn't there?
I think his buyout clause is 125 million.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
It's something extortionate, and to me, he's not even worth that because we're not going to buy one or two players that would replace him. He just is irreplaceable to Villa. You watched the game last night, even though we were under the cosh for a lot of the game. He's still the best player on the pitch by a mile. So he's just got raw talent. He's just brilliant. And he has been since he was 17 when he made his debut.
I think that's the thing. I was listening to Ray Winston on a podcast, a West Ham podcast the other night, and talking about, how back in the day that teams used to largely consist of, top English teams would consist of lads that grew up on the manor and played for the teams. And, talking about the old kind of West Ham teams in the 60s and early 70s. And saying there's none of that left anymore. And it's like, the core exception in English football is really Jack Grealish, who lives and breathes it. And Mark's made the point week after week. Why would Grealish want to leave? He's playing for the team he's supporting.
He won't leave. I honestly don't think he will.
He should be
Not the way we're improving. I still think there's more to come from this Villa team. It's exciting at the moment, but there's still more to come. And there's 4 or 5 players, hopefully, to come in the summer to replace the guys that are out of contract. So, it's just exciting for us guys, really, having been so poor for a number of years now.
Yeah. So, Jen, let's cast your memories back to a few months back when you played Liverpool and exceeded everyone's expectations. And I'm still dining out on the nutmeg on Van Dijk that Grealish did. You know, there was memes galore about it going on, but the performance as a whole was just phenomenal, wasn't it? What were your thoughts going into that game? And Mark's falling asleep, it looks like, on the chat box on the left hand side. What were your thoughts going into that game, guys, and how did you feel at the end?
I think the worst thing is we went to a pub to go and watch that particular game. Obviously, we expected to go to the pub and watch them lose it, as you would do. And there's about 10 of us in there, I suppose, and there's a couple of Liverpool fans and things like that at the back of the pub and all sort of malarkey. We weren't obviously on lockdown at the time. The landlady actually came up to us and asked us to keep the noise down. I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life. That was in Falmouth, that was. And it's just like, absolutely, what? You're joking? You're sort of like beating Liverpool 7-2 and you're asking us to keep the noise down. Are you serious? Really? You know, I mean, we were going ballistic, mate. Honestly, it was just crazy. Never expected that. But, you know, it happens.
Yeah. It's one of those once in a blue moon moments, isn't it? It won't happen again for a long time.
Never expected that.
For me, you know, every Villa fan in the world was shocked at the scoreline, but the vast improvement that we've made since last season and, you know, since lockdown, I'm not surprised that we're beating the top teams. I'm surprised we beat them 7-2, but then to go to Arsenal and beat them 3-0. We've gone toe-to-toe with Chelsea. We've been robbed against United and City. We'll mention VAR because last night, for the first time ever, it was on our side. But we have gone toe-to-toe. But the squad that we've got now is only improving. The likes of Barkley, me and DJ say every day to each other, we just need to sign Barkley on a permanent. It's absolutely critical for us moving forwards and to keep people like Grealish happy, really. I've met Grealish a number of times, probably 7, 8, 9 times. He's absolutely Villa through and through. I've met his dad a number of times, Kevin. He loves the club. He doesn't want to go anywhere, but he is ambitious. The fact that he's now playing for England, whilst playing for his beloved club, he's captain. We went to Wembley in March for the cup final against City. Why would he want to go anywhere? He's got more money than sense. You know, he's on 125 grand a week. He's on the best salary any Villa player's had in their history. And we're going places. Our captain's a Villa fan. Our coach is a Villa fan. Our manager's a Villa fan. It's just, you know, for us, it's perfect.
Dreamland.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that,
really,
does it?
It is starting to become dreamland for us, really. The blue...
But we have been through the mill. We've had 10 years.
Yeah, we deserve it. As every club goes through a good point and a sticky point, we've definitely had our fair share of absolute crap over the last number of years. I'm a season ticket holder, so I go up regularly. The season we got promoted, I went up to 21 games. Before lockdown, I went up to about 10 or 12 games before the pandemic, so including Wembley. So, yeah, I go up a lot. We've seen some absolutely horrendous games.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, from the outside looking in, it appeared that you were always a kind of a top 10, top 8, top 6 side for a long time, weren't they? In the 90s into the noughties, even after the glory years. It was still, a dead cert to always be a top half team and play really attractive football. and no matter who the manager was, that seemed to continue until O'Neill left, and then it just seemed it was like entropy. It just got worse and worse over a few seasons.
It was a massive slide.
Yeah, I've had some chats. I know a number of ex-players that we're getting to do Q&As for our Cornwall group.
Yeah.
I mean, today I've spoken to Mark Draper, Nicky Shorey, Tony Daly. I can't remember. I've spoken to a few already today.
Tony Daly.
And those lads are just saying how good it is now to watch from the outside, as former players to watch this team. Yeah. They're as excited now as when they were playing in the glory days of, Ron Atkinson, Brian Little, John Gregory, Martin O'Neill himself. So the problem is Martin O'Neill left. Randy Lerner, the American owner, got absolutely bored with it. He completely fell out of love. He didn't know anything about football.
Yeah.
He got rid of, and I know this personally through some of the ex-players, he got rid of footballing people at the club to the point where they didn't even know on the security guard who Paul McGrath was.
Wow.
So,
I mean, I don't know what to say to that.
From a Villa point of view, if you're walking in and you're having to security check Paul McGrath and ask who he is, that's where the decline started for us.
Probably dangerous as well, isn't it?
A little bit.
It's like asking God for ID.
and then the Chinese doctor come in who was brilliant on Twitter and Facebook, but absolutely shocking as an owner. Couldn't get the money that he kept promising the club. And, it's an absolute blessing in disguise. I was at the Fulham playoff final 3 years ago. Under Steve Bruce, and I'm so glad. Even on the day, I was just so glad we didn't go up because the club was a mess. Villa couldn't even afford 10 grand to buy the players' suits on that game.
Wow!
For a club of Villa's size, former league and European Cup winners, to not even be able to pay for the players to have suits for a Wembley Cup final is, for a playoff final. The most expensive game in the world is just absolutely ridiculous. So from that selfish point of view, I think all of us Villa fans didn't really want us to go up because Steve Bruce did a brilliant job to stabilise the club, but he was never going to take us further forward. You see that now in Newcastle. He's not great as a manager. He's very old school. And it's been so refreshing having Dean Smith come in, but I was talking on our group chat last week. I went to Watford away last Christmas. I think it was New Year. We lost 3-0 away and everyone just turned on Dean Smith and wanted him sacked. But fast forward a year, he's now like a hero in Birmingham and Villa. So it's kind of the Frank Lampard situation at Chelsea. These managers just don't get any time at all.
Yeah.
Well, what was expected of Dean Smith then when you got promotion?
It was just really to stabilise the club and to build and to stay up, really. And then
the first one was to stay up.
The first one was to stay up, and we all said if we stay up by a point, a goal, whatever it was, dodgy VAR, who cares? It is just to stay up.
Stay up.
And you know that the owners have got £35 billion between them as in their family loose change. And they're one of the richest owners in the country, and they're going to spend money. They've already said that if financial fair play will allow, they're going to spend sort of, on upwards to try and compete with Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, United. Now they're not going to do that overnight because they got relegated and had 3 years in the Championship, so they're not financially allowed to do that. But they've spent a hell of a lot of money developing some of the best young players. And I mean 17 upwards, best players in the country. They're buying them all over the country. Mm-hmm. You got Louis Barry, who's 16, 17, who played against Liverpool in the FA Cup. He's absolutely class.
He's the guy that scores, right?
Yeah. He's going to be sensational. He left West Brom and went to Barcelona. It's 15, 16, but was homesick, so he only lasted 6 months. He come back. He wanted to join Villa above anyone else because that's where his family are from. That's who he supports. He's going to be a wonder kid, but there's a lot more of them to come through the system. They've spent about 15 million recently on the training ground and developed a mini stadium for the under-23s. the reserve team. There's a lot going on off the pitch as well as on the pitch that I think will really stabilise the club. But as DJ said, the main thing last season was just to stay up and build from there.
Yeah.
So if they're worth as much money as what you're saying they are, say you had a bottomless pit of a transfer kitty, what would be Villa's targets right now to purchase in the summer?
What, player-wise or positions?
Yeah, player-wise and positions.
I don't know about DJ. I think we need a
good question.
I think we need another centre half. I think Mings is brilliant, but he's got a mistake in him pretty much every game that costs us a goal, sometimes a game. Ezri Konsa's awesome, but I think we need another backup centre half. We need another left back if Targett gets injured. I think we're stuffed with Neil Taylor, but he's out of contract in the summer, so he'll be replaced. I think we need to sign Barkley, and I think personally, because Wesley's still out and has been for over a year, I don't know what Dave thinks, but we need another striker to back up.
I would like to personally. I'd like Tammy Abraham back. Because I think when we came up, because we had him on loan in the Championship, when we came up, obviously Tammy Abraham went back to Chelsea. That was a big loss. That was. We never managed to replace him all that year. But I would love to see Tammy Abraham.
But you think you get in ahead of Ollie Watkins?
Yeah, I think
he would.
As a neutral, I disagree. I think Ollie Watkins is probably one of your best complete strikers in the league.
I think he'd probably put Watkins out wide, to be honest, some games, and put Tammy in the middle. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Ollie Watkins about 4 years ago was playing for Exeter against Falmouth Town at Bicklin. So let's look at his rise to fame in the last number of years. You don't go from playing at Bicklin to Villa.
I get the impression
without having quality.
I get the impression that Dean Smith has that kind of. He's got a long-term strategy in mind with his signings. That he doesn't just want to chuck money. The players of the moment that are banging the goals in. He wants to develop something that's going to last 5-10 years. That's the impression. That's how it appears.
Yeah, we've got the youngest average age squad in the league.
Says it all.
Yeah, exactly. And when Steve Bruce was there and he failed with promotion, we had pretty much, the oldest team in the league. I think it was the oldest team in the league at the time in the Championship. So it's not a fix overnight, mate. This is, developing and will take a number of years. But I think it seems like we're on the right line.
I'm just a bit confused because I think Ollie Watkins has been your best sort of signing, other than Bartley on loan.
Artez, yeah.
I think Watkins has been.
I'm not complaining about the lad. That's for sure. I like him.
Oh, I love Watkins.
I just can't see how you got a chap at Chelsea who isn't really doing a lot. He had a hat-trick last of the week, but he's out of favour a little bit. He's not really been as prolific as what you'd think. If it was a toss-up between Watkins and Tabor.
I think they're just different players, aren't they? They give different options, and that's what the league's all about. There's different options,
but we all
different styles against different teams.
I wouldn't say I'd get rid of Watkins. I'd keep Watkins. I just
don't know if you could play him out on the wide. I think he's too good a target man. He's too
his work rate is phenomenal.
He's too productive. He's another Callum Wilson basically.
It's just for us. The worry is if he gets injured or something, there's no one else to take his place. That's
fair enough. So guys, you've got Villa have got a lot of games on in January through February, haven't you? I think you've got the most congested schedule of any team in the Premier League. But I haven't heard a single Villa fan moan about it yet, which is weird. I'm used to, hosting this podcast with a Liverpool fan who, if they've got to play, 2 games in 8 days, their manager will come out and start complaining about it. I'm just making the most of Mark not being in the room.
Get him on. This is perfect.
But how do you feel about it, guys?
We had 3 games.
Well, it's not easy, is it? I mean, we don't have a massive squad. The squad is developing. It's growing and we're signing players. But I think, they seem very fit. They seem very motivated and they have a hell of a team spirit. And, they just seem to want to play football. If Grealish is an example. If he's not playing football, he he doesn't really have a purpose. All he wants to do is play football for Villa.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a.
I'm hoping it won't catch up with us at some point. I think it might, but we've had a hell of a run over Christmas against the top team. So
Yeah.
we seem to have come through that fairly okay.
I think when you win in and oh god, he's back. When you win in and not picking up injuries, those 3-day gaps between games don't seem as bad though, do they? Because the players are keen to get back on the training ground, they're keen to get to the next game, and if players are staying fit but getting a bit tired, there's a momentum that carries you through periods like that.
Can I just chip in on the Tammy Abraham Watkins debate? Because no universe.
Yes, Watkins scored a hat-trick against you, Mark.
I don't remember.
On the 7-2 night.
No, I remember. No idea what you're talking about. But in what solar system universe does Watkins start? Does Tammy Abraham start over Watkins? Watkins is by far a superior player to Tammy Abraham. How you could even think about shifting Watkins out wide to piss off to put in Abraham. I can see Watkins being called up for England very, very, very soon instead of Tammy Abraham. I'll maybe have Tammy Abraham on the bench as a plan B, but I would not move Watkins out wide to make room for Tammy Abraham. No way.
I think the initial question was who would we want to sign, and obviously we need.
That's back up. Fair enough.
Those two.
Yeah.
Those two to compete against each other would be amazing. They could play. They could potentially play together as well. I think they'd be great together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't for 1 minute say replace one with the other or anything like that. I think have both of them. It's not.
What I love about Watkins is most of his goals is right in between those two, right in between the posts, where he should be as a number 9. You very rarely see him scoring from an angle or outside the box, I'm sure he can, but he's always, whenever the ball's in the day, he's always in between the sticks, in the 6-yard box or on the penalty spot. Just gamble, like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, early part of the season for Everton. He was just there, wasn't he? Every cross in between the sticks. And Watkins has got that split-second bit of coolness when the ball comes to him. Doesn't panic. Look at that finish the other night. Outside the foot, far corner. It's like, that's an incredibly difficult finish. And he just flicked his right boot in the far corner. Yeah, I do that all the time. No problem at all. I think he is, and I've said it many times.
We love him as Villa fans.
He's a special talent, mate. He's strong. He's quick. He's good in the air. He's aggressive. He's direct. And honestly, I think you've got something very, very special. I don't want to sound like I'm going over the top, but I'm just going on what I'm seeing. I think he's a very, very special talent. I do.
How much would you pay for him, Mark?
What, Ollie Watkins?
Yeah. So if you were managing the purse strings at Liverpool, going to get a striker, you keep saying you need a striker. How much would you pay for Ollie Watkins?
I would snap your hand off for Ollie Watkins instead of Divock Origi. So probably, given his tools and his potential, I would probably pay 35. I think that's about right.
Well, we paid 30.
You paid 32 million for him. Where from?
Brentford.
He's a fantastic young player. Same with that lad at Southampton, Adams, and Moyes at West Ham, giving these youngsters from the lower leagues a chance. And England are going to have dozens of very, very good players to pick from. We've gone through them on previous episodes. I like Che Adams. I like Ollie Watkins. I like Bowen, and the Berardinho. Is that his name? Sorry, I'll do. It's close enough. There's so many good young players.
I literally haven't got a clue who you're on about. Berardinho,
the one at West Ham.
Benrahma.
Yeah, him. Same thing.
I don't think he's going to get an England team.
Well, we were linked with him in the summer, and we chose Bertrand Traoré, didn't we, DJ? So.
Start of the season, I was a bit like, this Traoré chap. I tell you what, he shut me up the last few weeks. He's been phenomenal, hasn't he? Been very, very good. He's starting taking people on. He's started making a real impact, hasn't he?
Well, yeah. If you look at our starting team over Christmas, had Anwar El Ghazi, who was absolutely like the worst player in the league for the last 2 years for Villa. And then all of a sudden, over Christmas, he scores 5 goals in 5 games and now can't even get on the pitch. Because of Traore, because of Grealish, because of Barkley, because of Watkins.
I'm going to pump your manager's tires up a little bit here, because his man management is obviously pretty super, or John Terry, whoever it is who deals with players week, because Ollie Barkley has gone to Villa straight away. He's looked like the Ollie Barkley we all thought Everton were going to develop. For me, that's my opinion. I think he's really starting. Now he's got to run of games. He feels wanted. He feels trusted. He's making those runs. He's driving forward in midfield. He's trying his flicks. And I love to see players trying little flicks. He might try the odd flick and the odd stupid place on Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley.
You know that, Mark.
Thanks, Al.
I said Ollie 3 times.
Stop whining.
Right.
I'm a big fan of this. I'm a big fan of Ross Barkley. Obviously, your manager's doing a cracking job.
He's not even fully match fit, and you can tell that towards the end of each game he burns out. So it's there's a lot more to come from him. I think if he can have a run of games.
There's a telepathy between Barkley and Grealish, isn't there? That just they gelled straight away.
Oh yeah. Our Villa's team with Barkley in it just brings a different level out of Grealish and Watkins. They just absolutely fly when Barkley's on the pitch.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say as well, you keep saying harping on about is John Terry. Right. Going back to John Terry and the defensive thing that is, we have actually, none of us actually have any idea what John Terry does.
Really?
Honestly, we don't. He's not.
So what does
he's not the defense coach.
He must kind of.
He's assistant. He's like second or third in charge, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like we have no.
But he could offer a lot, couldn't he, with mentality and and what he's been and what he's won, and he must have some impact on the defence.
Have you, Dave? Dave, do you honestly know what it is?
Yeah, he signs my shirt and gives me selfies. So. He has done a few times anyway, but no, I don't think anyone at the club knows what he does. But something's working this year. It wasn't working last year until lockdown. I think if lockdown had stayed, we would have been relegated. So if lockdown hadn't happened, we'd have been gone.
That's interesting though, because Villa are surely one of the teams that benefit from the 12th man. Because you got brilliant old school ground that other teams love going to but hate going to. They love going to because it's a great ground. They hate going to it because you've got 12 man.
Well, we haven't at the moment, have we?
That's what I mean. So, it's kind of the wrong way around, because for me, Villa should be. I support West Ham. It's a blessing we haven't got the fans in the stadium at the moment, because most of the fans don't want to be in that stadium, which I think is ridiculous. But
the old Berlin, the Berlin Stadium was a nightmare to go to, because you had a thing called the Chicken Run. Nightmare that was.
Yeah,
that was scary.
Yeah, I've only went once. Yeah.
I mean, I used to live up the road from there, and as a West Ham fan, I didn't really like. It was all right once you were inside, but it was a ropey part of East London, isn't it? And
not nice venue to visit.
No, and we were very welcoming to away fans as well. So
I'm going to ask you two something that I asked these guys. I think it was last week or the week before. Why can't Villa finish in the top 4? Give me a reason why you can't. I don't want to hear why you won't. I want to hear why you can't, because I don't think there's a reason why you can't.
I don't think we can't. I think realistically, it's just a bit of inconsistency, really, for us. And VAR goes to Man City.
I'm so glad you didn't say Liverpool at the end of that sentence. I'm so glad you didn't finish. That's another story we're going to get into in a minute. But honestly,
I'd be honest, I'd be quite worried if we got into the Champions League so quickly, because we're not ready for it. We haven't got the squad for it. But you would take it, because obviously that brings a lot of money, higher profile footballers, etc. So, but we're not ready for it. Wolves have proven that with their decline at the moment.
That's due to their striker as well, though, mate. I still like watching him play. I still like watching him. I don't know. I still like.
It started before Jimenez got injured. The rot had started in, but at the start of the season they weren't playing well. We beat them 4-0.
Yes.
Well, I spoke to a Wolves fan last night, I spoke to a Wolves fan last night, and she reckons Nuno will be sacked
No
this
way.
week.
Wouldn't surprise me.
No,
Wouldn't
really?
surprise me. The thing is,
Yeah, apparently it's
Really?
happened at every club he's been to. He's had 3 or 4 good years, and then he just
That's
declines.
not bad.
The
3 or 4 good years ain't bad.
the thing with Wolves though is they'll have to bring in another Portuguese manager.
They're not going to get anyone better, though, are
Who are
they?
you going to bring in? Deco. It's going to have to be someone Portuguese. Look at the
It's going to
team.
have to be. It's going to have to be.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
Oh,
that?
well.
What's that by Watford manager? Flores? Was he
Anyway, we
Portuguese?
don't wanna-
Was Flores
We're not, here
Portuguese?
we're not here to talk about a second-rate Midlands team, are we, DJ?
No.
We did actually have a Birmingham fan on a few weeks ago.
I don't mind Wolves. I mean,
All right.
it really
That
is.
would have been interesting.
It's obviously Birmingham.
What's your next subject, Al? What's your
They're
next
not really
subject, Al?
rivals.
So this
Not
is
really
for
rivals,
you two
mate.
Villa fans.
What? Again? Again?
Prior to the glorious evening where you
Oh.
beat Liverpool by 7 goals to 2, for those of you that are hard of hearing, here's a really slick graphic for you. There you go, 7-2. Yeah. Prior to that match, what was your favourite?
The favourite
ever Villa game?
What? Sorry. Probably when we beat Liverpool 5-0. Or 5-1, was it? That was way.
That's enough of that. We don't need to hear about it.
Oh, he's put you on mute, DJ. Don't worry. Mark, stop being trigger happy.
I'm trying to take him off. Trigger happy? What are you on about?
So yeah.
I think there's 2 games that stand out for me:
Yeah,
beating the Blues 5-1 and then getting relegated, and beating Man United 3-1 in the League Cup final in '94. Because any win against those lot is
Ooh,
superb, and we haven't really beaten.
Who scored your goals that day, Dave?
94. Dean Saunders 2. Julian Atkinson.
Straight off the cuff.
Glory days. You also remember who scored. I mean, you might not, Mark, because you've won a lot of trophies over the years, haven't you? But for other clubs, that you've got to go back a little while when you win a trophy. You kind of tend to remember who scored the goals.
I mean, for me
Villa's last major trophy was
Fantastic
96.
memory, Dave. Good.
The most ultimate game for me. I mean, I went to the Rotterdam European Cup final in '82. I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Peter Witt.
Yeah, bang.
Yeah.
Obviously for me that was the ultimate, and I just thought it was normal then. I thought we played the European games virtually every week, right? We kept winning them. We won the league the year before. I just thought that was just normal. Little did I know it was coming.
It was, I'm old enough to remember those years, DJ, and as well. And you just took it for granted, the English dominance of European trophies. Then, because it wasn't just Villa, was it? It was Liverpool, Forest,
and then we beat Barcelona in the Super Cup at Villa Park.
Yeah,
it's just like you can't imagine it now. You just cannot get your head around it. Looking back. The difference, virtually every Wednesday night we've got Juventus tonight. It's just bizarre.
Could you imagine Messi coming to Villa Park on a Wednesday night
Did you say you're not
and playing a Champions League game against
Hang on,
Ollie
Dave.
Watkins?
You just said your owner is incredibly rich, right?
Yeah.
If you qualify for the Champions League, that's like 120 million, bang, in your hand, boss.
Yeah.
So I don't believe if you did qualify for the Champions League, if crowds were allowed back, so you're talking your home form, under lights, Villa Park, I don't think you'd struggle that badly. I think you'd be as strong as other dark horses in the competition, to be honest with you. You're underestimating just how good the top 6 clubs in England are compared to the top 6 clubs around Europe. I think if you got in the Champions League and your owner's as committed as he says he is, and then you got the Champions League money, and then you got the Premier League money, there's no reason why you can't strengthen sufficiently to at least entertain the fans in the Champions League. That's my opinion.
It just goes back to last season, Mark, when we recruited 13 players in 1 year. It takes time. So my worry would be that we can't struggle in Europe, but then something would have to give
Yes.
in the league, and then you would take a decline in the league. You can't bet in that many players, no matter how much money you got. You can't bet in that many players that quickly to start hitting the ground running straight away, and we proved that last year. But people forget that I think 15 or 16 left last season. Most of them were out of contract or just not good enough, so we had to replace them. And with financial fair play rules, you can't spend mega money to buy the best players in season one. So, however, look at Ezri Konsa, look at Douglas Luiz, look at some of the other boys from last season. They all looked a bit dodgy at the start of the season, but now since lockdown and this season, they're absolutely flying. And there's going to be some top teams after people.
The
like
reason I
Douglas
asked that,
Luiz,
Dave, is Villa and West Ham have not got
unreal.
any European distractions. They haven't got the Europa League curse Thursday, Sunday, and the Carling. You've got and I like the way your owners have bought this lad from Marseille, was it? So they've seen where they need to strengthen. They've looked at the league table and gone, everyone else has got European football coming up. We've got nice rests, so to speak, as much as you can do in this crazy season. And I honestly think, with everyone else playing in Europe and having to juggle all these plates and spin all these plates, West Ham and Villa can do something special. I honestly think that. Southampton, if they had a bigger squad, I'd include them, but they just lost last night.
Why would you include West Ham in that then when we've got the smallest club in the Premier League and we've only got one striker? We're so fragile. And what I've been complimenting Villa on is, they're strengthening their squad and they've continued to do that over the last 12 months.
Just like the way West Ham plays.
We've got, don't get me wrong, we've got a great starting 11 now and they're getting better all the time. Not today, unfortunately. But, overall, they're improving under Moyes and we're really happy with that. But we haven't got, there'd be no point in us qualifying for Europe next year unless we're going to go out and buy 6 players in the summer. And then we're in that position that Villa were in last year where you've had to buy too many and they've not bedded in. You can only build it a bit at a time. I think Villa,
your owners haven't.
Sorry?
I am surprised that your owners haven't looked at like Villa's owners and they've gone out and strengthened where they need to strengthen. I am quite surprised that your owners, because they got so many contacts in football, wheeling and dealing, they haven't at least got a lone striker in. Somebody, anyone. West Ham never have a better chance than this season.
I think if we presented Josh King as a bargain tomorrow, we probably on about 6 million, and the club don't want to pay it. Which is stupid, because it's a few weeks' wages for most Premier League footballers. If we're presenting a bargain tomorrow, I think we'll take it now. Because did you notice against you today? 10 minutes left. We took our striker off.
Yep.
We had an under 23 on the bench striker. And Moyes quite deliberately didn't put him on. He put a defender and a holding midfielder on. No attacking players at that point. I think it was a little nod to the board saying, "Get me a striker tomorrow, please." I might be overreading it, but I think Villa have got more depth than we have at the moment. I think Southampton have got more depth than we have as well.
They lost 3 last night, mate, to hamstrings. Walcott. They're right back, and they're literally they were falling like flies.
Yeah. Well, they're still members of the first team squad. We've got 3 out. They're still members of the first team squad. That's what I mean. And if you've got enough, we don't even fulfil our quota of 25 players. I think we've got 22 players in our squad from the start of the season. We didn't even register enough players because more. And I don't want to blame the board on this. They get blamed for a lot. But it's Moyes' decision. He only wants a striker that's going to add value to the club. And if the right one's not here in this transfer window, he's not going to sanction it. He'll just carry on and bring a kid through. But I just think, this is this one season in 5 that we have where we've got a chance of doing something half decent and not being in a relegation battle.
Yep.
A bit of money at a striker, for God's sake. We're fine everywhere else.
Exactly, mate. That's what I'm saying. You've got Villa's owners. They've made all these promises. I hope they hold it. They've gone out and they've spent their money on the Marseille lad. I cannot believe, similar to our centre back, although I think we're signing some lad from Preston tonight, apparently, for 2 million. I've never heard of him. I don't know if he's any good or not. Apparently he's mobile, left foot, and quick. So we'll see.
He's playing for Spurs right now, though.
Right. I'll take anyone. But I am sure I can't.
than any top flight football.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what he's like. He could be.
Doesn't need a wheelchair.
I am surprised that West Ham haven't looked at the league table, looked at the fact that everyone else will be playing European football soon. So you, as such, might have rests as in the week soon when everyone else is playing. God, come on, striker.
Yeah.
Any
Well, we do love a deadline day signing.
You have got the boy, haven't you? You have got.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he can play up there.
Well, maybe not as a striker, but I think we've got him in as cover for the whole. We think that he can cover Bowen, Ben Rama, or Fornals. Any three of those players, he can kind of play across the lines. And there's maybe an emergency striker, but I don't think I've ever seen him head a goal. The way we play, I can't see him as backup for Antonio. So, but I think he'll be all right. If he gets match fit, he's one of those players. He needed to leave United to re-stoke his fire, didn't he? So, and a club like West Ham's probably a good place to try that. Okay. I think we'll probably will sign someone tomorrow. It's just the club are saying we're not going to, but they always do this, and we love a deadline day bargain. I'd much rather, when we had Big Sam in charge, our signings wasn't my favourite West Ham manager, but we'd get the signings at the start of the transfer window, so we'd have that time for them to try and bed in and play the system and that. So.
DJ, would you mind letting Ralph take a pew?
Yeah, you crack on, mate.
No, stay in the chat. We'll just all rotate every 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, no problem. Mate.
Don't go anywhere, mind. Do you want me to? He's disappeared.
Who, me?
Oh, so.
How do you do it?
I'll do it for you, mate. All right, just stay in the chat. Don't go anywhere. All right.
Step down.
There we go. Go on, then, Ralph. Get in there, pal.
Feel free.
Go on, then, Ralph. What do you want to talk about?
Anything.
Ralph's subject. Ralph talking.
Not really fussed. Whatever you want to talk about. I think they.
Not after Villa.
I think the Lingard signing could be a bit of a blessing for both parties. I think it could be good for Lingard himself, and I think it could be good for West Ham for that bit. I know he's only 28, but he's got a bit of experience.
Yeah. He was playing in a World Cup semi-final a couple of years ago, wasn't he?
Exactly.
So, he's clearly he's got talent. And I was reading a bit more about him this week about what's happened in the last year for why he's not been getting picked. And actually, it's got nothing to do with football. It's just there's been so much going on in his personal life, like family illnesses.
Yeah,
and
I think
he's been looking after his siblings. Yeah. So actually, I read that and my heart bled a little bit. And because it's all the stuff about he's on Instagram all the time, this, that, and the other. But aren't they all? So I don't think that's necessarily too much of a thing. So I hope it as well. But interesting that United did not want to sanction any kind of deal that involved an option to buy. They wanted to come back a better player and kick on for next season. There's no possibility of West Ham getting a permanent deal on it, which is interesting.
Lingard, he was a boy wonder. He's mobile. He's quick. He likes to carry the ball. I just think he needs games, Ali.
Yeah.
I just think if West Ham give him 10 games in a row, and you will see a real player there. Lingard is to get off social media and dancing and all this shit and start playing football again. And I'll tell you, he's got talent. He has genuinely got talent. He needs to concentrate on his football and not dancing with Paul Pogba's mum on Instagram or something like that. It's ridiculous. Honestly, the lad's got talent. It's time for him to knuckle down. Wouldn't you say, Ralph?
Yeah, I think he's the last few years. He hasn't really concentrated, is he? Like you said, he's had off the field issues or whatever. I think he's let his football career slip a little bit because he was quite a promising player at one point.
Yeah, he was.
I think what I will say though is even at West Ham he's going to have to play his way into the side because the positions he's talking about. Moyes loves Fornals, loves Bowen, and Ben Rama's winning him over. And so it will take an injury of one of those players or a drastic loss of form for Lingard to start over any of them. So he's going to start on the bench. So all the talk is he's not going to start against Villa because not even sure he's match fit, but he'll get a place on the bench and maybe get a run out towards the end of the game.
Oh yeah, I agree. You're in too good a position for him to walk in anywhere, especially as he's not really played probably 90 minutes in total yet of any league football.
Yeah. All right, so guys, just moving on to another topic. So Harry Kane's injured. If the Euros was tomorrow, who would you start up front for England?
Rashford.
Oh.
Simply because I don't know what happened to him the other night. Again, who did he get taken off against, Ralph? My mind's gone blank. Last game?
Sheffield United or Arsenal?
Arsenal. I don't know what happened to Rashford against Arsenal, to be quite honest. He was just had his blinkers on. He was like the guy who plays FIFA just pressing B the whole time. I don't know what he was doing, but on his day, Rashford is absolutely phenomenal. And I think if you got Grealish and Sancho either side of him, I can't really. You're right, Ali. We are pretty short of strikers. That's why I'd have on
English strikers.
Yes, I'd have Ings, Watkins, Rashford, Greenwood,
Calvert-Lewin. You got
Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, Sterling can play as a false 9. Yeah.
I think you've got to look at, like Ali said, you've got to look at what, or someone said Watkins could be called up for England. I think.
Yeah, I think he's got to. He's banging it in.
Callum Wilson, another one.
Callum Wilson, fantastic. Or do you know what? I really like Callum Wilson.
He's been in the English fold probably in probably half of the games that we've played in the last 12 months, maybe.
The attacking midfield is even more difficult to pick from. There's so many good. This could be the best generation of young English footballers I've seen in a long, long time. Given who these young players are learning off, Curtis Jones has got Thiago, Greenwood's got Cavani. Perfect to learn off. You know, you've got Foden had David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne to learn off.
Declan Rice has got Noble.
Oh no, don't. That's a perfectly good.
Noble's
he's a top professional.
Noble's been a stalwart for the Premier League for the last 10 or 15 years. He's been up there.
What I'm saying is these youngsters. I say it every week. There's a pack of, apart from centre back, there are not enough good young centre back. I'm just watching Ben White here play for Brighton. He's been outstanding tonight. Absolutely brilliant.
Is he the lad that played at Leeds last year in the Championship?
Yes, Liverpool are very, very interested in him for the summer. Very, very interested in him. Yeah. That's probably why we've gone cheapy now, and hopefully we're going to go for this lad in the summer. But I just want to see lads who pick for England who want to play for England, who have earned the chance to play for England. And strikers-wise, I want to see people who are scoring goals play for England.
You've got to do it on form.
There you go.
If you're going to go into a tournament, you've got to do it on form, not name.
You've got to do it on form. Gone are the days where you pick someone with a broken leg who might play in the semi-final.
Yeah, take him for the tournament. One game in the knockout stage. In the knockout stage, and we lose.
So in answer to your question, Ali, if I had to pick 5 strikers, fair enough for a World Cup, or 4 strikers, what are we going with? If we're playing 3 up top,
I just want to know who's going to. What I want to know is, it's the final. We're against France or Brazil or Germany, and there's no Kane. Who is it that's? If we're playing 2, which 2 is it that are going to beat France or beat Brazil or beat Germany?
Danny Ings, workhorse. Danny Ings and Rashford. Rashford for the energy. Danny Ings, just that fox in the box mentality. Would you agree with that, Dave?
I would go with 3 up front, and I would go Rashford, Sterling.
Oh yeah, if it's a 3,
Grealish.
I would have. If it's a 3, I would have.
But then he loves Sancho, so
I haven't seen enough of Sancho to know if he's tearing it up. So,
but in the middle, Foden definitely is ripping up.
Class to watch.
Harvey
Dude, the list goes on. You got this young lad at Arsenal breaking through. You got Curtis Jones breaking through. Yeah, You've got Eze. You got Eze at Palace now starting to break through. You got Declan Rice.
I think we've got lots. I wasn't saying we haven't got lots of good midfielders, wingers, attacking players. I'm saying out and out strikers. I think we're a bit
out and out strikers. Ings,
yeah.
Wilson,
yeah.
Watkins,
yeah.
Rashford can play there.
Yeah. I don't think any of them are in the class of Mbappe or Neymar.
No.
Or what's his name? He keeps scoring goals. Germany.
Wingers are there. I think
Haaland.
Who?
Haaland.
Haaland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ireland, yeah.
That's my only worry with the England setup. But actually, what Dave just said makes sense. Maybe I'm looking at it as through the tunnel of forwards, and we need to be looking at our system. And if we're on a 4-3-3 with 3 attacking players, it's more interchangeable, isn't it? Playing the ground.
We've had this discussion, haven't we? We've had this discussion. Denmark at home, 1-0 down. But no, before we even kicked off, 5 at the back, 2 holding midfielders.
Yeah.
Against Denmark,
Yeah.
at home, at Wembley, we need to win the game. We have 3 centre-backs, 2 holding midfielders, and 2 wing-backs.
Yeah.
This is England at home to Denmark. Not Brazil, not Germany, not Italy.
Yeah.
And then is it Mings got sent off, didn't he? Someone got sent off.
Maguire.
Maguire got sent off. And instead of bringing on a striker and going, tell you what, let's play like a Premier League team. Let's play for like 3-4-3 or whatever, however it would have worked. No, he brings on another centre back. This is my problem with Southgate: is how important.
He's come back.
England, for me, England should play like a Premier League team. 4-3-3, Bosch. 4-3-3 all day,
High
every
press.
day.
At all time. Yeah.
Grealish on the left, or Sterling on the left. You got Sancho on the right. You got the strikers. You got 3 excellent midfielders. Whoever you want to pick in midfield. Centre backs a bit less clear. You got 3 excellent left backs, and you've got a whole league full of right backs. By the way, I think there were 17 English qualified right backs at some point this season, starting in the Premier League. So, in no shape or form should we ever start with 3 centre backs, 2 holding midfielders at home. England, not a chance. No way. So this is what I mean, Ali, about is Southgate the right man to use all his talent? No, I don't think he is, personally. He's a lovely chap. Brilliant. He'd be a great CEO of the FA.
Yeah.
You're looking for a CEO.
I mean, I responded at the time. I know I'm always the odd one out in the room with this, but
All good, mate. All good.
he did play that formation in a Nations League game, wasn't it? Was it a Nations League game? The Denmark game?
It wasn't that game. He went all the way through. But carry on.
Yeah. Well, I'd be concerned if we got to a tournament and we're playing that. But in between tournaments is where you have to try players and systems out, and it's very easy to turn around and say, oh, look at what Southgate's doing. He can't be the man for the job. Just remember the 20 years of mediocrity that came before him, and the poor management of the golden generation of English talent before. That, if anything, and this is the thing, it's very easy to say, oh, we've got all these amazing talented players, but look at when we had Gerrard on Lampard and Scholes, and we had Rooney and Shearer up front. We had an amazing team and couldn't get beyond quarterfinals. Southgate, by hook or by crook, got into the semi-finals of the World Cup. But you know what? We were playing all right, and that was a young team that he brought through, that he'd come to with that whole mentality of playing kids, tick-tack football from a very early age. He'd been on that whole journey, and maybe that is getting fatigued, as in him being part of that setup. Maybe we are getting to the end of that cycle. But all I said was he deserves one more tournament because of everything. The last 20 years of his career have been towards 15, been towards this current generation of England kids. And to let him go now on the basis of a couple of unimportant games, as long as we qualify for a tournament, that's fine. And it's what we do when we turn up. And he deserves, on the basis of 2018 alone, he deserves another chance. He balls that up on your bike. If we get to the semi again, he's doing a great job.
All right. So would you rather see us go to the tournament and play safe, or with a safe squad, or would you rather him throw caution to the wind and take the raw and upcoming talent that we've got and play fearless football?
Me?
Matt Metcalf.
I think. Well, my view is that he's the one that's brought the kids through as an England manager. So he's already done that now. And what I'm saying is, yes, we've seen him playing 5 at the back and 2 holding midfielders up, but I've never seen him do it at a tournament yet. So if he does it at a tournament, careful what we wish for.
We have a comment on Facebook. We have a first ever comment on Facebook. This is very important. Matthew Metcalf says, anyone but Pickford.
Yes.
It's a fair
Anyone
point.
but
Nick
T-Rex
Pope.
arm.
I think even an Everton fan would say that, wouldn't they?
There's at least 3 young goalkeepers playing every week in the Premier League. For me, you look very solid.
Yeah.
You just said one, Ralph.
Nick Pope.
Yeah.
Without doubt, it shouldn't even be questioned.
Who's the other one? Pope and Henderson's quite good at United. Who's the other one? There's another one playing who's English. Who's really quite good. Never really lets anyone down. Can't remember.
I think Henderson will be good, but he just needs games, doesn't he, Henderson, to prove himself at the top level. He's
consistency in
his
it.
ability,
Consistency.
but he just needs game time. Consistency in game time, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, Pickford is shocking. He is shocking.
You all agree with
all day long. Matt Metcalf says Pope all day long, and I couldn't agree. But the thing is, though, right? Why is this lad at Burnley? What's this centre back? Tarkovsky.
Tarkovsky.
No idea what his name is. Why is he not considered for England
quality
when he's top of most of the centre backs?
Yeah, but he's not. Is he playing? He's not playing against the world elite, is he? He's not playing against. He's not playing.
There's only one way to find out if he's good enough.
Yeah, but we play him in a friendly or in a non.
What's Tyrone Mings? Tyrone Mings ain't playing against the elite. He's still
he's got the best stats after Virgil in the Premier League. Last 2 seasons. So he's just because he plays for Burnley. People don't realise how good he is, but he is different class.
Yes.
Mings has the best aerial stats in the league this season.
Yeah, I like Tyrone Mings. He is prone to an error.
78%.
He's a good lad, Tyrone Mings. Another one he won't leave. He won't leave Spurs. Villa. What's wrong with me tonight?
Well, I think Conser's better. Actually, I think. I think Esri Conser's better. Actually, having watched Villa a lot over the last 30-something years. So
I'm going to drop out for a minute so DJ can come back in.
All right, mate. So, okay, lads. Hey, what we'll do? We'll do a bit of fun. So we've got loads of time left. Pick your England squad. 3 goalkeepers.
Got a bit too much.
So we say 8 defenders, 8 midfielders, and 6 forward strikers. If you want to play 4-3-3, it's up to you. So we got 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, 8 midfielders, 3 strike, or however many strikers you want. There's no limit to how many people you can have in this squad. Go for it, Dave.
Oh, not to think of them.
Just stop there.
Goalkeepers first.
Matt Metcalf. What you
actually got loads of comments now on Facebook.
Yeah, it's got to be Pope, Henderson. He'll pick Pickford, but
Tom Heaton, if he is he English?
Come through.
Yeah, he's English.
Yeah, he's English. He won't get a look in now. He won't get a look in this season.
I think that Pope
is far too good
go
at the
back to
moment.
goalies. He's really impressed me. He impressed me the other night. Definitely. I mean, when we played them, but we should have won that we lost. But that was really down to him, Pope.
I think the right back's an interesting one for England, isn't it? Between Trent Alexander and
mate, you've got so many right backs. You've got the lad at Brighton. You've got.
What about Saka?
Oh,
I'll tell you what, right? And I know this is me saying something nice about Manchester United player. And I grew up watching Ashley Cole, and Ashley Cole never got beat 1-on-1. He was do you remember him against Ronaldo that day? Wan-Bissaka, I have never seen. He makes the odd fuck up when he tries to dribble, but I've never seen anyone dribble past him 1-on-1 ever, never. I think he's a phenomenal defender. Did he dribble?
Matty Cash.
Did he dance around him? Did he? Did he dance around him? Did he dribble around him? I missed that. But no, if we were playing Brazil, if we were playing.
You got the England back for it.
If we were playing Brazil, I would have Wan-Bissaka starting at right back all day long, purely for his defence. If we were playing Estonia, I'd have Trent, just because he'd be bombing on all day, bang, bang, bang. That's my. I would start with Wan-Bissaka if we were playing world-class teams. I have to be honest, because his defending is just absolutely brilliant. So, Dave, 3 goalkeepers to start with, and we'll go around the rooms each position first. So, 3 goalkeepers to start with, everyone. Go for it.
I've picked I've picked 2 goalies. I can't think of a third. I've picked Pope and Henderson.
What's What about Ramsdale? Is he English? What happens if he had a bit of
Ramsdale, yeah.
Oh yeah, Ramsdale. I'm just trying to think of the under-21 squad, but
better than Pickford.
Ramsdale would be the next one coming through. You're right, Ralph. Yeah, I think we're probably better than Pickford.
Pope
Honest,
for me.
I don't rate him.
I'll give him
Pope,
I'll give him a run out, definitely.
Okay, so how many people we have in the squad? 25 in the squad, do we have? Should we have 25 in the squad, or how many? How much is it? 30 or 25? Is it? How many can you have in a World Cup squad? 23. Is that it?
23.
Bloody hell, we're fucked.
23.
So how many defenders do you want in the squad then? How safe are you going to play it? Are you going to gamble with
playing? Normally 8 or 10. 8.
You want to take 8 defenders?
Normally 8. Is it 8 or 9? Is it?
Okay.
Well, they normally take 8. They normally take 1 or 2.
So left back, would you go for Shaw and Chipwell? Is that pretty much cut and dried?
Sure. I'm not saying it because I'm a United fan, but I think Shaw has been one of the best fullbacks in the league this year so far.
Do you know what I like about him, Ralph? He's got that nasty little shithousery bit side to him, like this
he don't care.
I like the bit of aggression he's got in his game. He was all nicey for too long, and he's turning into a shithouse. I quite respect that.
I think since that injury, I think he's turned into a bit of a. He's got to be a bit stronger.
Yeah. DJ, left backs in your squad. How many are you going to have, and who are they?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Who would he pick? Bakary, Saka?
Chilwell. Should we say Chilwell and Shaw left backs? Yeah. Chilwell and Shaw. Right backs. No, right backs tricky because I've just said, say if you're in a group with Brazil, Poland, we always get Poland, don't we?
Yeah.
And someone else, right? So you got to think about that. Who would? So if you had right backs, would you go Bissaka and Trent, or would you have a third one as well in Reece James? Or don't forget, you got the lad at Brighton as well. He's very, very good.
Yeah.
Lamptey.
Yeah, Lamptey. Yeah.
Who would you say? We got a whole league of right backs, English qualified right backs. There's so many of them out there. So who would you have? Who would you have?
As a United fan, would you have Maguire in it?
No.
What do you think of Maguire?
You wouldn't have Maguire in the England squad.
No.
I've been saying for 50 episodes.
I think as a United fan, I think he's probably. I know he's captain and whatever, and he's there and he's been picked every week, but he's probably one of our worst. I've said this to Mark before. He's one of our worst centre halves we've got, and it's ridiculous that he's been given the captaincy and he's even been rated at £80 million. That was just they seen United panic buying and they just went right bang, 80 million. They're going to pay it because they need a centre half. But to me, Eric Bailly and Lindelof, or if you had it, if Axel Tuanzebe played a bit more regular and a better middle game, I think those two, Bailly and those two, would be the best two.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, he is.
Eric
Bailly.
When you had those 3 or 4 games in a row, and you won. I think you've won. It's just when Eric Bailly made 3 goal-saving blocks in the last 5 minutes of each of those games. He threw himself in the middle of the ball. Like he didn't even block it. He threw himself in the way.
Axel and Bailly have both got a little bit of pace about them. They're both strong, and Bailly don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. He's one of them where he'll rather, kick you and the ball at the same time rather than be pretty. And I think Maguire's for a man 6'4", whatever he is, and 15 stone or whatever, 14 stone. He's a bit lightweight sometimes.
The problem is we all know that he's going to pick Maguire. We all know that.
Of course he is.
So we've got to include him in the squad. Just be kind of realistic, okay?
Yeah, but
we have to, don't we? Because otherwise it'll just be laughing.
But just into DJ's question, I wouldn't. If I was one of the England selectors, I wouldn't have picked him. No, not even as a neutral.
It's your squad. Who gives a shit if it's realistic or not? The problem is that doesn't leave us with many replacements for Maguire, does it? That's the problem. If you look around the Premier League, you got John Stone, Jerry Gomez.
There's a chat on my Twitter. A mate of mine, Phil Lafferty, used to manage St Austell and Bob in Town, I can't remember. And he said, with the way that the Liverpool situation's helped out, and Henderson's filling in at centre half, is that giving you another utility player who could fill a position at centre half and then frees up one of the more attacking midfielders like the Mounts, the Grealishes, and the Declan Rice to play your free midfield that are younger and more fearless.
If we're playing someone like Estonia, I keep saying Estonia, you know what I mean? One of these clubs, one of these teams you should batter 5-0. Exactly, Rally. You don't need Rice and Hendo. You could play Henderson now at centre back if you're expected to have a lot of the ball. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good shout. I don't see why not. So
we want to play this. We want to play the football from the back.
Dyer can play there as well. Eric Dyer's played there for Spurs.
No, get rid. Don't even.
I'm just putting it out there. We're not blessed with centre backs. You're not going to take Maguire. You've got Stones and who? Mings.
Yeah, this is why I was asking Ralph about.
The lad we've just said from Burnley.
This is why I was asking Ralph about Maguire because I have a problem with Mings in it. I think he makes too many mistakes.
I wouldn't have Mings in either.
You've got to take Maguire.
No.
You have to, mate. No one else. You have to take
him. You don't have to.
So who are you going to take? You've got Tapotsky, Stones, and the other one, whoever that is. So who are you going to magic out of thin air? Who's good enough to play centre back for England in a major tournament?
So who's not to say that in this tournament format that the likes of Henderson at the back playing, you take him as a centre half, couldn't be the solution rather than taking him as a midfielder.
Against certain games, mate. Against certain games,
you've got 7 games or whatever in the tournament, 6 games or whatever.
All right.
Why not play him? It's not the league, is it? You're not looking for him to give you foundations for 38 games.
What does that say about Henderson? How well he's done at centre back? We're all suddenly talking about Henderson filling in at centre back for England in a major tournament. That says a lot about him as a player, doesn't it?
Well, look at Harry Kane's his ploy of he jumps up for the ball.
Oh, mate, they're all doing it now. It's sickening.
Look how intelligent Henderson was to pretend that he was going to go for the header and then drop back and let Kane jump into midair and he injured himself. So he looked like a twat, didn't he? Well,
yeah, he did. So we got centre backs. So who are we going to finish up on centre backs? How many are you taking and who are you taking? DJ, Dave, and Rick? Why not?
Kyle
Walker.
Michael Keane. So you're not taking Maguire. Okay, Maguire is off the table. So you need 4 centre backs. Go.
Henderson,
Tarkowski,
Stones,
Keane, and who? Stones. Yeah. Okay, so we've got our 4 centre backs. We all agreed on the centre backs. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All about opinions, isn't it? So now this is when it gets fucking tricky because you can only take so many midfielders. Okay. So I would like to see England play 4-3-3. So my 3 would probably be Rice, Henderson if he's not at the back, just to give us that little bit of, and maybe play Sterling where he's played. I think Sterling's played his best for England at the tip of a diamond.
Brighton's won. Brighton have beaten Spurs.
Yeah, 1-0.
Have they? Oh, my stream's so slow. Spurs just won the FA Cup. A Sky go as well, for God's sake. Oh, wow. Who's Josie going to blame for that?
Best team lost.
So 4, yeah, exactly. So if we're playing 4-3-3, what midfielders say you can take? 4-3-3, 7, 8 midfielders, up to you. Who are you taking? Because there's so many. There are and don't forget, you can save some of the midfielders for these the wide positions. Some of them, like Curtis Jones and Foden, can probably play as a front 3 off the left. So
I think you got to play. Yep. You got to play Foden central, haven't you? And he's going to play either Henderson or Rice, isn't he? He loves both of them, so and rightly so at the moment. They're both good players.
Yeah, I'll definitely have that, mate.
Mason Mount.
Before you start, just don't forget there are so many. Don't forget anyone. There are so many good young English midfielders out there at the moment. There's a good dozen who could easily make the squad. So who are we going for? Definitely
Then
nailed them down.
I think if you put Rice
Sancho.
together, you could have another Lampard Gerrard scenario.
Who's that?
I think if you put Henderson and Rice together,
Yeah.
you could have another Gerrard Lampard together. Either plays well together for England. You've got one on.
Well, I would take them both. We're not talking about starting them. We'll take them both.
Yeah.
Henderson, Rice, Foden, will I take Curtis Jones
Grealish.
yet? Probably not. Mason Mount, yeah. Mason, I wouldn't take
Mount.
Curtis Jones just yet.
No.
I think he's a bit, maybe it's a wild card. Maybe it's a wild card. but
Sacco
not
from
Saka.
Sacco from Arsenal.
Barkley.
Barkley.
Really.
He's in the mix. He's in the mix.
Harry Winks wasted time.
Southgate loves Harry Winks.
See, I think he's quite neat and tidy, lads. And there's a lot of hatred for Harry Winks, but he's all right, you know.
I don't hate him, but I don't think he's England material. You know, you're talking about, do you want to watch exciting,
Is it?
good,
and so Noble.
Harry Winks?
I think he got one England call up. No.
I would love Noble play for him.
No, but I'm not saying play now.
Really
I'm saying you're now saying that Harry Winks should be selected. When the whole of Noble's career, has he made how many? No, Mark.
No, I don't think.
No, I just said he's neat and tidy. Now you've just said Noble. I would love Noble to play for England. I think he's passionate.
Yeah, but I don't think he's
neat and tidy, he's aggressive.
Yep. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to compare it. As the elite midfielders we've had, different eras maybe, but you've had Lampard and Scholes and Gerrard was a bit round when Noble was similar sort of prowess of playing in the league. What I'm saying is, how can we select someone like Harry Winks if someone like Noble, who's been so consistent, can't even get a call up, can't even get 5?
Superb point, mate. That is an absolutely superb point, and I haven't got an answer for you, other than the fact there's probably a bit of club snobbery about it. Maybe I don't know, but I like Mark Noble. I'd love him. I would like to go to the trenches with Mark Noble. Put it that way, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but
I would quite like. I have no problem going to the trenches with Mark Noble at all.
No disrespect to him, but I think it's a bit late now in his career to try and get him to win you a
7 points clear of Spurs now. Woohoo! Get on. So now wide players in this squad. Wide players, mate. This could be so many. There's so many options. Ali's just touching it with the whole striker situation. Would you play 4-3-3 if you were the England manager? Would you play 4-3-3?
I definitely would. Yeah.
So
yeah, I think so.
There are so many options out wide. Strikers, I think, pretty much pick them. If you're picking 4 strikers, you've probably got to go for Ings, Kane. Ings, Kane, Rashford, and
Rashford.
I would pick Calvert-Lewin, or maybe Watkins as a complete wild card. I don't see harm in picking Watkins. I think he's on form. He's scoring goals. Or Callum Wilson. See, it's tricky. Maybe you don't like Callum Wilson. You don't think? Not scoring. Yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin for how we want to play. Yeah. Dominic Calvert-Lewin certainly gets in the box a bit more, doesn't he? Yeah. He puts himself there to score the goals more. So, who would you guys play out wide? Because there are so many options. You got Grealish, you got Sancho, Rashford, Sterling. Who would you take?
All of them.
Yeah, you probably can do. Yeah, you probably can do.
All of them.
You reckon Sterling start to get a Grealish?
Sterling will start.
Same place.
Well, I think he might play Grealish or Rashford, to be honest.
Mate, statistically, there's no way at the moment Sterling can't start ahead of Grealish. Surely. Yeah.
Yeah, but he will, won't he? Southgate is his favourites, but if we're going up, I
think I play 5-3-2 with wing backs.
Sterling on the right, Ali says. So where would Sancho, given he's the media darling, everyone loves Sancho, no, he hasn't.
He hasn't been consistent recently, though, has he? I I think he'd be better as an impact player, to be honest.
Matt Metcalf says, I think this is for centre backs. Oh yeah, Ben White, good shout. Ben White, Mings, Tartovsky, Stones, and Gomez. If he's fit by then,
Gomez isn't.
Matt Metcalf's a Man United fan, and he's not picking Maguire. Wow. I've been saying it for the last 15 episodes. I don't think he should be picked for England. So we're up to strikers, wingers. Who would you pick as, say, okay, you can pick 3 players to take, like we did with Rooney and Owen. There's a little X Factor wild card. Who would you pick as a wild card? 3 players you're allowed to take. A bit like we did with Owen and Rooney back in the day. Just for the experience. Who'd you take?
Probably Emil Rowe.
3-0 up against someone, half an hour to go, throw them on for, see what they can do.
The youngster from Arsenal, Emil Rowe.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
He's a bit do like you did with Rooney. Take him when he was 16, 17. Just take him along.
He looks a hell of a talent, doesn't he? He looks phenomenal, doesn't he? He really does. That Rowe, Japanese, called Rowe, I think.
Emil Rowe.
So who would you pick, Dave? Who would you take?
Right.
You're allowed to say Watkins, because Watkins can be taken as a wild card, I think.
Yeah, I'll take Watkins.
How many goals has he scored this year?
Yeah, I'd take Watkins.
10.
Yeah.
First season in the Premier League.
10.
Not
You got
2.
Kane
So he's still got half a season to go.
You got Kane in there yet?
He's injured.
Who's that?
We're going as if he was injured.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic, mate. Absolutely fantastic. He's got to go. He's in form. He's got to go somewhere. Oh, Antonio, mate. We're forgetting about Antonio. Can play on the left, can play down the middle. Ali's just thrown a spanner in there because he's got the physicality for it as well. West Ham's version of Emil Heskey.
Patrick Bamford.
Did you see his finish today? Did you see his finish?
Oh, no.
Another one that you could have.
Left foot, top bin. Left foot, top bin.
I don't want to watch it.
No.
It's a horrible shit.
No.
Antonio's not a bad shout for the wild card, Versatile. He could play on the right, play on the left, play up front, give him a slap around the face, wind him up a bit. He does.
He grafts hard.
So, forward wise,
committed.
Would you take if you had to come down to the two of them? You were there with the 2 players in front of you. Who would you take, Watkins or Antonio?
Watkins at the minute.
Watkins. Yeah.
Sorry for the goals, is it? Just for the goals?
Watkins, yeah.
I'm trying not to be
biased,
but
he's not born.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but Antonio's been good for Villa. He's been banging. He's been bullying defender. Oh, okay, no, yeah, fair enough. Midfielder, wild card.
We'll find
Who would you go for?
We'll find out on Wednesday night when we play them.
Who would you take?
Who are you talking to?
Who?
Who are you talking to?
Anyone.
Oh, right, okay.
I would probably take the Watkins. That good. I would take the lad at Arsenal.
Yeah, bro. Or Saka.
Saka. See, no one's mentioned Saka. He can play left wing. He can play left back. He can play midfield. Would he make the final squad? Saka, mate. See, we haven't mentioned, mate. There's so many. We've probably forgotten about half the league.
I think at the minute, with the way that Sky Sports are promoting him a bit, I think Rob Holding might be looked at.
Oh God!
I don't rate him, but I think he's going to be that. I think he's going to be looked at.
Oh no, Rob Holding.
He is shocking.
Oh. So what? Someone write the squad we've named out.
Right, hang on a minute. So I've gone for my starting 11 is it's going to be a 3-5-2 with wing backs.
3-5-2.
Listen, I've gone for the way that the league's playing out and the way that people are playing and the way that people are filling in. I've put Pope in goal. I've put the back three of Henderson, Stones, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Say that again. Henderson who?
Hendo, Stones, and Wan-Bissaka. I've put Trent on the right, Shaw on the left. I've put Rice Holding with Foden, Sterling, and Grealish, and then Rashford up top.
Yeah, because you've got a lot of fluidity there. Right, those four
Grealish
players
is playing as a 10, so he's got his free role basically like he has at Villa. Just he can linger around and do what he wants, floats around the striker.
Yeah, that's a strong squad.
I've got Henderson.
It is, yeah.
Ali's just fallen off his chair and gone, Wan-Bissaka is a centre back.
I know what you're saying, but it's just I just think if you had to man-mark, just said to him, look, man-mark this player. You're playing against Mbappe. Don't let him pass you. Don't let him, just don't do nothing stupid. No playing with the ball. Just
Carl Walker's played there in that role, though. Carl Walker has played that role for him.
Yeah, but I just think Carl Walker.
We haven't even mentioned him, have we? We haven't picked him. Yes, he did. Let's change the subject, Dave. But no, you're quite. None of us picked him, so he's not even there. We forgot about Carl Walker.
I don't think he's consistent enough.
No, that's fair enough. So put the squad we just kind of talked about in the Facebook chat, and I'll put it on the Facebook. I can't remember what it was. Now, me and Ali always talk about VAR, right? What are your thoughts on the latest round of offside decisions? Like, I'm not just saying because it's your team. I'm saying
Fucking
absolutely brilliant last night.
Ali, jump on a minute.
All right, Ali, jump in. I want to talk about.
It's a joke. How can your armpit? I
want to talk about two things. I want to talk about VAR, handball, and offside. Okay, how do you fix it, Dave? Because we're all moaning about it. In my opinion, handball should just be any handball in the box. There we go, no grey area. I don't care if the strikers deliberately hit it. Thank you. That's personally. I know you'd have strikers aiming for hands, but credit to them for doing it. There'll be no grey area, would there? If handball's handball.
I think before lockdown, I went to about 10 games last season that had VAR decisions at Villa Park. Horrendous. Absolutely. You score a goal and you don't even know if you're celebrating. 3 or 4 minutes we're in the ground sometimes at Villa or an away game. You can't even celebrate with your mates. It's embarrassing. It's crap. Well, it works for rugby and it works for cricket. How can it not work for football? With
Dave, I don't know if you've listened to any of the episodes, but Ali will be sick of me hearing saying this. You do not have VAR controversy in rugby at any point. All the supporters know what they're looking at. They can hear what they're looking at. They go over to the corner of the big screen, and everyone can see what they're looking at. There's no secrecy. There's no, he's just handled the ball kind of thing. It's open in rugby. There's accountability in rugby. The referees go on talk shows and explain their decisions in rugby.
When you're in the stadium at Twickenham for like Six Nations games that I've done over the last 10 years, I normally go every year, and you got an earpiece, haven't you? And you can hear the commentary.
It's the buffoons. Sorry, I've got.
Isn't part of the problem here?
Why can't we do that in
playing
football?
devil's advocate, as I always do with VAR, isn't part of the problem the fans? Because looking at that Villa goal, the Villa offside decision yesterday, it was right. Nobody got it. VAR didn't get it wrong. When you look at what the law says, VAR now, it's whether you want VAR looking at an arsehole against an armpit or not.
Let's not talk about Jose Mourinho here. Come on.
When the ball was played, was the guy offside or onside? And VAR got it right, as much as we can tell. So it didn't get it wrong, but yet it's part of the VAR controversy. But surely the controversy is whether you want that degree of accuracy applying during a live game or not. Rugby is full of stops and starts. Cricket is full of stops and starts. Football's a free-flowing game. It's very different from rugby and cricket. So you need to have that decision about whether, as a universal fan base, you're willing to have 2 or 3 minute breaks for the sake of accuracy. Never mind about whether the interpretation of it is sometimes right or sometimes wrong. You need to start at the point of deciding whether you're willing to stop the game to let someone scrutinise something for a period of time to make that call in the first place. Because that's what happens, isn't it? You score a goal, and you have to wait a minute, and you celebrate. And I'm not going to celebrate because I'm waiting for it. And
I don't celebrate goals anymore unless it's absolutely obvious. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, but
you sure?
you're not scoring them anymore.
you
So
I think the only piece of technology,
Well, I don't know.
the only piece of technology that
I didn't
actually
see
works,
today's game, but
VAR,
it's
yeah,
so
I think the only
inconsistent.
bit of
That's the
technology
issue.
that really works well is the goal line technology.
Oh, does it?
I think that
I'm a Villa fan.
Did he just say that?
I'm a
Did
Villa
he
fan,
just say
yeah.
that, Ali? Did he just say that?
Yeah,
Did he just?
I know.
Did he just say that after
Yeah,
touched the
it
back
works
of
spot
Sanderson
on.
going down.
I can't believe he said that with a
No.
straight face.
But yeah, you're right. It never gets it wrong, does it? When they switch it on.
Apart from that time, yeah.
But
on the whole, I think that is a brilliant bit of kit. You know, that is a really good bit of kit. But the VAR.
Do you know why it's such a good piece of kit? There's no human involved in it. It's just a machine telling us what's happened, and there's no human error there.
I'm gonna put myself up on that, very cold and windy pedestal again and say this weekend VAR has got far more decisions right than it got wrong yet again, and it does it time after time. But we remember the mistakes. But what we forget about were how many mistakes were being made just by the officials on the field before. So again, it just comes back to the decision about whether you want to stop the game or not. There'll always be mistakes because it's such a fast game. There'll always be interpretations because of the way the rules are written. So VAR.
That handball yesterday.
By the letter of the law, it wasn't as it is interpreted at the moment by the English FA. That was the correct call because it hit the body first. At the start of the season, that was a penalty because of the way it was being interpreted at the time. They
changed it again last week. They changed
the problem is no one knows the rules anymore. So they changed that after the Villa Man City game. That was absolutely embarrassing. That was a joke. No one knew.
It's like when
Virgil got injured. How can you change?
They didn't know they could send Pickford off. David Coote didn't know he could actually send Pickford off, even though it was offside. He didn't know.
The rules. Football's a liquid game, though. The rules change every season. But something changes every single year, and sometimes it's the interpretation. I mean, that City goal, that was just bollocks. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that on Facebook or not, Mark, but it was bollocks. That has always been given as offside in every game I've ever watched. It's the first time I've ever seen it in 44 years of watching football. So I just, it just mystified me how they were talking about a pre-existing rule that no one knew about, because nobody thought that, did they? Rubbish. But that's not, for me, that's not a VAR issue. That's just people trying to justify their existence. Mark, you refer to a particular guy, don't you? Coote, is it? You say he's called? That makes all the bad calls.
This Coote, honestly, I am bitter because he was the Merseyside derby ref who didn't. No, he wasn't. He was in VAR. Sorry, and he was the VAR ref when Bamford was offside pointing. Ralph has now got his Mark Bingo card out where he ticks off all the he's moaning over him. He was the referee. Mane was offside in the Merseyside derby. Do you remember for Henderson's winner? Yeah. He wasn't offside at all. He was the referee for when Bruno Fernandes stamped on the West Brom defender's leg and got a penalty for it. Do you remember that one? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fair enough. But no, David Coote and it's not just Liverpool. He's making mistakes. I think he gave the Eric Dyer one as well. Actually, I'm pretty sure he gave the Eric Dyer one when Eric Dyer wasn't even looking. And they hit him in the hand.
So, Mark, your issue is less with VAR and with the accountability currently within the FA's application of it, because I'm not sure because I don't live in Germany or Spain, but they don't appear to be having the same issues that we're having. Same technology, same rules, different interpretation within the guys that sat looking at the monitors in the first place.
Yeah, no, it's to be honest with you, maybe I don't know if it would help if VAR was actually in the ground on the side of the pitch. I don't know if that would help if they're actually there rather than hiding away in some. Maybe if the fans could see them making a decision, maybe they'd think about their decisions a bit more.
Thing is, they do all the games, don't they? Because they've got the tech, they've got their big wall of different monitors.
Yeah, but they'd just be stoned to death, wouldn't they?
Well, maybe they made the bloody right decisions then.
They wouldn't in the London Stadium, or we couldn't reach that far.
No, I think Wayne Barnes, top referee in the world, he goes on BT all the time, and he explains decisions. He goes, "Yeah, do you know what? I got that wrong, or missed that, or yeah, I'm really happy with how I did that.
Yeah.
You don't see a single football referee go on a single. Oh, Clattenburg now does. Now he's sat in a deck chair in Dubai, but you don't see a single current Premier League referee have the backbone to go onto a show and say, "Come on, then, ask me any questions you like about any decision." You just don't.
Are they allowed? Though?
Yeah,
Do you think they're
I
allowed?
think that's what. No, they're not. I bet they're not.
Mm.
But I would respect them so much more if they made themselves available, not for criticism as such, just for questions. Just say, yeah, I thought I missed that, actually. Looking back, there was contact, there wasn't contact. This is why I gave that offside, VAR. This is why I gave that handball. They would get a lot more respect if they actually explained their decisions.
Yeah, I agree.
Personally.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, I've got a great topic to finish on. So,
Liverpool.
7-2. It's deadline day tomorrow, isn't it? So, what's your most memorable deadline day signings for the club?
Luis Suarez, boss, done. Luis Suarez.
And Carroll, don't forget.
What?
Same day.
No idea what you're talking about. Luis Suarez, pure. Yeah, he is an absolute animal, but he is still probably out and out talent-wise the best Liverpool player I think I've seen in my lifetime.
Mm.
I include Gerrard in that because Gerrard was such a rounded footballer, but for pure X-factor talent, Luis Suarez, what a deadline day signing.
Do you include Cinema Pongal in that as well?
Oh, yeah, and Nancy Latalak and Andrei Voronin.
Lazar Markovic.
Igor Biscan. Oh, he's better than them all. Momo Sissoko. Yes.
Oh, what a drive.
I think the best one for box
Yeah, he
office
turned
was
up in the
Peter
car park.
Odemwingie,
Okay,
wasn't
please
it?
sign me, please.
You know what? 8 years ago today, that one. It came up on my Twitter. Yeah, it was on my Twitter today. Or 10 years, whatever. It's the anniversary.
Oh,
Really?
You should do away with. Would you do away with the January transfer window? Nothing
That
ever
was
happens.
box
Right?
office.
No, we can't.
Would you just-
We need to sign players. So,
You haven't.
well, yeah.
You have. God.
I think we got McGinn, didn't we, on that? Wasn't McGinn the last day transfer?
One most memorable. Suarez.
Oh,
I
there
think
you
we
go.
got- I think
So
we
who's
got
your really
Boyd
memorable
and
ones at
Baston
Villa?
last year, didn't we? From Swansea.
Say today, you got them in deadline day, either in January or September. But the January one's always good, isn't it? Because
I think McGinn. I think McGinn was that's probably one of the greatest transfers I've ever known. Going for an absolute steal.
wow.
2.7, and he's
2.75 million.
Well, I'm a Scotsman, so I appreciate all his attributes. He's dragged the team, the national team, kicking and screaming at times. So great.
Yeah.
Well, I call him the Guinea Esther.
He's awesome. Yeah.
He is unreal.
Well, that's what I learned this weekend. He's got a fat
Good
bum.
job it wasn't his arse on VAR, though, as Dean Smith said last night.
You got to blame Bruce for that. Steve Bruce.
You've got, just to let you know, lads, we've got about 10 minutes left.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, Bruce signed
For me, at West Ham, it would be Tevez and Mascherano that just turned up on deadline day with the chairman, apparently. And Alan Pardew turned round and he was like, "Who are they? What? I don't know who these guys are. I never even asked for them." And yeah, we got all this spiel about, we've got these really exciting players from Argentina. And we're like, oh, yeah, well, it must be good. We've never heard of them. But brilliant. And I think Mascherano was played as a right midfielder by Pardew, the tactical genius, and never really hit it off at West Ham. Although, did he go straight to Liverpool from us? I think he did, didn't he?
Do you know what? That was one of the most bizarre transfer stories. But what a cracking couple of players they were, honestly.
They were. I mean,
Tevez,
we would have gone down without Tevez and being saved by the FA for signing Tevez in the first place.
None of this compares to what Ralph's going to come on and say. One Bebe for Manchester United. None of us can get near Bebe for Manchester United.
Wow,
None of us.
There you go. You can
But no one compares to Bebe.
Ralph, feel free to type if Bebe wasn't your best deadline day signing. We're waiting.
They're on a deadline day signing? Can't remember. Was it?
Eric.
Oh.
DJ. Eric
He's supposed to
Jemba
be
made
the
it
next
on
Roy Keane at
deadline
Manchester
day
United.
to Villa.
That was, wasn't it?
How was Jemba at Villa then? Because I can't really remember. To truth be told. How was he at Villa?
Sorry. Absolute shit.
We're on Facebook. It's a family channel.
And that's being polite.
Okay,
we just mainly manipulate elections.
Oh. Okay.
I've sworn about 5 times already, so.
Fucking dreadful.
Oh.
Yeah,
We
if
did
Liverpool
sign
don't give him a
James Milner
coaching
on
job.
transfer deadline day.
Oh, man, what a professional. What a professional.
It annoyed me how good he was today. He just really annoyed me.
Free transfer.
I was thinking, Milner, you're too old. Stop. He was covering every inch of the park, and I was just like, this is really doing my head in.
2 days ago, or 3 days ago, he was on the floor with cramp in the game, and he's on another hour.
It's proper athlete.
What a best free transfer has to be James Milner at Liverpool, and I will not hear any difference. Yes.
Yeah, we were gutted. We were gutted over that.
Ooh,
So I've
that's a good
just
sign.
DJ. I've
He's
just
never got back there, has he? He's never got back to that form at Villa, has he?
He was. Well, going back to memorable
What is your
matches.
problem,
I actually
Tom?
went
What
to
is your
Anfield
problem?
and watched him score 2 in a free.
He's probably only
win
beaten Liverpool
a number
3
of years
times
ago,
in 100
which
years.
was like,
You brought it up every single time. God. No,
Well,
Benteke at Villa was a monster. I remember him bullying United as well. He threw John O'Shea to the ground quite literally, didn't he, as he ran past him? I remember that down the...
He was great.
he was an absolute monster. We used to call him the.
He's just starting to look like it
call him the
at
Beast
Palace
of
as well. He's
Birmingham
starting
at one point. He
to
was
knock
an
people
absolute
around
machine.
again.
Right, here's some other goods.
Well, I think
Wow.
he earns 130 grand a week at Palace. There's nothing, you know. What's his?
Yeah.
He's got the
What's
worst
he got
goal
to do
celebration as
for money,
well.
you know?
Sorry, Al, what were you going to say?
I was going to say some more free transfers to put to the mix. Pirlo went on a free from Milan to Juventus. Sol Campbell joined Arsenal on a free. Robert Lewandowski was a free.
That's pretty good.
Eston Cambiasso went to Leicester on a free. JJ Okocha, don't know where he went, but I don't know if he went to Bolton on a free or not.
Okay.
Pogba to Juve was a free.
Yeah. So, okay, we've got 9 minutes left. Let's talk about people like JJ Okocha, like growing up watching. Who is the Premiership player from your... Like, I follow quite a lot of old pages on Twitter, like 90s goals. I saw a cracking from Benito Carbone just now.
Player.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bergkamp. JJ Okocha, Djorkaeff.
Bergkamp.
All these random ones
Daniel.
that used to turn up at Bolton and play for Big Sam.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I mean, do you know Tino Asprilla? Oh,
Ginola.
Thierry Henry.
Are we only Premier League years? It's just because you said growing up, and you know.
Tony Yeboah.
Yeah.
What? Next. Papa Cisse.
Oh, shut up.
That's not one goal.
Paul Gascoigne.
Oh, Gascoigne, yeah. I look like Giuseppe Signori. Are you old enough, DJ, to remember Giuseppe Signori? Little Lazio striker, little left footer.
Yeah,
what a player. Rakoba, I always say it. Rakoba has still got the best left foot I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Janino.
Remember Middlesbrough when they signed Ravanelli, Branco,
King Clancy. Do you remember King Clancy? They used to kick off.
Let's pause. Can we pause?
Ravanelli.
Can we pause on that Middlesbrough team, please? Just for a minute.
Yes. Yeah.
That was absolutely class, wasn't it? Didn't they have a UEFA run where they got to the semis and they were like fourth or third in the league for most of the season. And Janino was just different class, wasn't he? Different class.
Do you know what? He got the emotion when they got relegated. He genuinely cared about that club. He wasn't there for the paycheck. He was genuinely upset when they got relegated as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What a player, though. I remember Georgie King Clancy. Do you remember him at City? He used to kick off and he used to take everyone on. And I think he scored twice, literally dribbling through the whole team. Yeah. What a player he was. Old Georgie
He scored.
Kincladze.
Yeah, he ran from the halfway line, didn't he?
Trying to
Against
think.
Southampton.
Who did I used to
When he's allowed to.
Cantona.
He's allowed to, isn't he?
You're going to say Cantona, isn't he?
Absolutely. Cantona was sublime.
He's hated by everybody. He's the one player everybody secretly wish they had. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I wish he'd come. If he'd come to the Villa, he'd be like all-time hero. But as it happened, we just hated him. but, oh man.
What a lefty.
Unlike when we
What a
saw
lefty.
Patrick Berger.
Okay, I'll tell you what, you two. We asked this question last week. What's the most brilliantly unexpected Villa goal from the most unlikely source? I said Vladimir Smica in Istanbul. Never expected that to go in. I was like, what are you doing? Goal! Kind of thing. Ali, what was your most unexpected goal from an unlikely source?
Oh, I can't even remember. But Craig Dawson scored 3 goals in a row, which is a miracle in itself.
Yeah, we'll go for that. DJ, who struck a wonder goal from 40 yards out and you thought, what the? Where did that come? Like,
I know.
Good shout.
For me, it was Peter Schmeichel for you against Everton from a corner.
Dave knows his stuff, hasn't he? He's like a Villa version of you. God, dear. I'm going to take you two to a pub quiz.
As long as
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's been a few.
Come on, DJ. There must have been one absolute crap player brought on to waste time who's just got one, pinged one in from 40 yards. Warren even did it for Liverpool. I mean, come on.
Can you think of any
Gentleman must have smashed one.
Bizarre one.
I remember in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
We were playing in Europe one Thursday night, and Darius Vassell come on, and we were losing. We were losing 2-1, and he come on with about 4 minutes to go and scored 2. And
Julian Joachim was on one of these Twitter. Oh, Julian Joachim, he was a teenager.
Never heard of him.
Julian Joachim was a teenager. He's another one who never made it to his full potential. Remember Danny Cadamateri as well, the dreadlock lad at Everton.
Yeah.
When he burst onto the scene. Oh dear. What a player. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? We've got 3 minutes left. Well,
I'd like to know what Tony Daly. I was going to say, what's Tony Daly doing with great minds? What's Tony Daly doing now, Dave?
Tony Daly, class. We speak to him quite a lot.
Yeah, I speak to Tony most weeks, to be honest. So he's doing some charity stuff for us at the minute through the Cornwall Lions. So every month now for the group since lockdown, I've set up some Q&As and some quizzes for our group for the Cornwall Lions. Tony Daly is going to be one of those speakers. He actually runs. Sorry.
Yeah.
Diplomatic.
I can get him to do our Q&As that you're more than welcome to join.
Mark Draper, was it?
In 2 weeks' time, we've got Mark Draper and Tommy Johnson. No, midfielder.
Wow.
Last week we had Thursday night we had Guy Whittingham and Phil King. We've got Tony Morley, European Cup winner, Sean Teal, Tony Daly. We've got a few to come, so yeah, I'm in regular touch with those guys. I spoke to Brian Little on Friday. He gave me a call.
Probably won't because it's a bit as a neutral, watching Tony Daly in the what's it, late 80s, early 90s. He's
an absolute.
So excited!
Absolutely brilliant, top chap. I've met him a few times at the games. Yeah. He runs. He does fitness and nutrition for athletes and footballers. He does stuff online. He does stuff, in his gym in Birmingham.
Apart from you two, obviously, chap.
He genuinely is probably one of the nicest people.
I'm going to wrap up, guys. Thanks so much. It's been a pleasure having you both on this week and hearing so much about Villa. We're here every week at 8. Please come back on subsequent weeks. It'd be great to have you on. And Ralph, as ever, thanks for having you on. Some brilliant insight tonight. So we're now on Facebook as well as Podbean and YouTube. So please look for us. We'll be streaming live every Sunday through Facebook Live now at 8 p.m. So we've been the Football Gurus. Thanks for coming on tonight. And DJ Dave, stay on because we're just stopping the broadcast, but we'll have a little chat afterwards if you're off. Please do.
Yeah.
If it involves 7-2, no.
Can I just say one thing? Can I just say two things? Thanks very much for having us. And 7-2.
I'm stopping the broadcast in half.
Thanks, guys.